Okay, so kind of an important data structure and computer programming goes by different names, is an array, a list, things like that. And Python, like every programming language, has a built-in array type, just called array. We're going to look at some array stuff, but I mostly use arrays in a package called NumPy. But I'm just going to get some of the array stuff out of the way because it's going to be similar to what we're going to use in this package called NumPy. Okay, all an array is just a list of things. So let's say I want to have a list of numbers from 0 to 10, and I'm going to call it numbers, or just nums. And if I want to create a new array, I'm just going to put it in brackets and separate each entry by comma. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I actually am just going to go up to 5. Okay, so if I run this code, now stored in the memory of Jupyter is nums, and it's this array here. Okay, if I just write nums and run the code, we're going to get the array listed. Okay, so there's various things that we can do to an array. If I want to access an element, I'm going to do the following: nums, and then I'm going to do brackets, and I'm going to put the index of whichever element I want to be here, starting with 0. So if I do nums of 0, it's going to return 0. If I do nums of 0, 1, 2, 3, it's going to return 0. I mean, it's going to return 3. I don't know why I said 0. Okay, so let's delete these lines of code. Okay, let's change the array here so that I start with -1. Okay, now if I run nums, I'll have the -1, and if I do nums at index 0, I'm going to get a -1. Okay. All right, so another thing, this array has a length. So if I want to know the length, I can type length of nums, and it's going to tell me the number of entries. Okay, so there's 7 entries. The index starts at 0. So if I do nums of 6, it's going to give me the very last entry, that 5. Okay, let's see what happens if you do nums 7. Okay, there it says list index out of range. So you can't go past the number of elements. So there's 7 elements in the array. You can't index the 7th element because the 7th element you can't put an index of 7 there because the last element has an index of 6. Okay, so if I do another example, let's say family equals Rob, Kara, Lewis, Henry, Jack. If I run this, let me click run. Okay, stored in Python's memory is this list of people. And if I want to look at the first member in the list, I do family of 0, press enter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the list. So if I do family, and I put an index of 4, it's going to give the last element of the list. So it's going to be Jack. If I do 5, that's going to give me an error here. Okay, let's say I don't know what the length is. Let's say the length could be variable. I have a dynamic array and the length could be variable. So then if I want to look at the last one, I can just do length of family -1, and this is going to give me Jack. Okay, if I just try to do length of family, again, it's going to give me that index out of bounds error, or list index out of range. Okay, so let's say I'm typing in my list of family members down here. Let's start this example again. Say I'm starting my list of family members. So I've got this, and I took out Jack. And let's say, you know what? We had a baby, and his name is Jack. So I want to add that to the list. Well, you can do family. Arrays have their own functions, so you can do family.append, and you can put in Jack. We get So I did that. I didn't press run. Let me press run. I did shift enter. That's what I normally do. So I want to click run so you know what I'm doing. So now if I look at family, it's going to list out everybody. Okay, let's say I don't really know how to do this without it being somewhat tragic. Let's say we want to remove an element from the list. Let's say I just want everybody. Well, let's say let's say okay. Let's say I put his name in wrong. Okay, and now I want to change that. So I want to remove the last element. So I can do this by doing family.pop. And what's going to happen is going to take the last element out of the list. And so when you do that, you just get these people. Okay, but now let's say I want to put on the right list. So now I'm going to do, or I want to put on the right spelling. So it's going to be family.append. And now I can add back with the right spelling. Okay, if I look at family, this is what we're going to look at. But let's say I don't want to remove Jack. Let's say I just want people in my family that aren't me. So I don't want to remove that. I want to remove me. I can do family.remove Rob. Okay, so it just removed it. And if I look what happens, it's going to have that list, but without me. Okay, so what I am doing, I'm just showing some very basics of array manipulation and things that you can do with arrays. We haven't really done anything exciting with arrays yet. We're not going to get to that until next week, I guess. But the way I decided what to show you was based on this W3 page here, just Python arrays. So you can look through this and see some other stuff that you can do with Python with arrays as well. In the next video, I'm going to start talking about NumPy, which is a very, very, very helpful Python library.